Hello, my name is Madhu Gottumukala, Acting Director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, marking more than 20 years raising awareness around core cybersecurity steps. This year's theme is Building a Cyber-Strong America. Building a Cyber-Strong America is a call to action for those involved in our nation's critical infrastructure to take simple, effective steps to secure the services and systems that keep the nation's communities and economy secure and thriving. If your organization owns, operates, supplies, or supports critical infrastructure, you can help build a cyber-strong America by taking essential steps to improve cybersecurity. Teach employees to avoid phishing. Require strong passwords. Require multi-factor authentication. And update business software. CISA sees breaches because people too often skip these basic steps. Next, build on the basics and level up your defenses with these additional practices. Use logging on your systems. Backup data. Encrypt data. Get a .gov domain if eligible. And share cyber incident threat information with CISA. Threat actors are getting more sophisticated, but taking basic steps to secure anything connected to the internet helps protect the systems and services that drive national security, prosperity, and daily life. This October, make cybersecurity a priority at your organization. We must all work together to build a cyber-strong America. Thank you.
We've invited you out today to participate in Cyber Awareness Month and activities this week. In today's session, as I mentioned, you may not have been able to hear me over the audio. We're going to be talking about how and the importance of protecting your devices and your data. This could be anything from your mobile device to your tablets, to your computers, to your laptops. And so first, of course, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Veronica Moxley. I'm one of the presenters today. I'm an Information Technology Cybersecurity Bachelor's Program here at St. Philip's. I'll be graduating in fall 2026. And next, I'd like to introduce Richard.
I'm Richard Black. I'm also a PhD student here at St. Philip's, and I should be graduating this year.
My name is Anand Sukhlall. I'll be graduating in fall 2026 as well.
Thank you, guys. So this is going to be our presenters today. And what we're going to be covering is our favorite word, right? Cybersecurity. So why is, and what is cybersecurity? It's the protection of all your devices, right? If that's a computer, if that's a mobile device, if it's your network, and who are we protecting from? Malicious actors, or now what we call them, all threat actors, right? So we're going to be talking about what are they trying to do? Obviously, they're trying to steal something from us, disclose information, damage our hardware or our softwares. Now let's look at, of course, we all know why this is important. Because not only are threat actors trying to steal our personal information, if our device is given to us, let's say we're a firefighter for the city of San Antonio, guess what? If we open up that door to our device, guess who they're really after? You think they're after me, the firefighter? No, they're after the city of San Antonio, right? Our network at the city of San Antonio to take down an entire city down. That's why cybersecurity is so important, because the implementations of what that vulnerability is not just to us, it can be to our employer, or as all of us mainly are here in the room, our school. Do we want the Alamo Network College to go down? No. Next. So this is what we're going to cover. We're going to cover today updating the software, strong passwords. I'll be covering updating software. Richard's going to be covering strong passwords and password manager. He's going to give us tips and tricks for multi-factor authentication. Right? It's important. I know it's pain, and we're just going to go into that. Super important. And then we're going to have an honor going over recognizing and reporting phishing. And if time permits, we're going to do a bonus round. All right, so let's get right into it. Software updating. Who gets that exclamation on your phone? Right? It's time for updating. Raise a hand. Who has an Apple? Yes, my Apple is pink. Okay, raise a hand. Who has an Android? Okay. 3 Android users. Wow. Okay, so we'll throw out the question to Android users. This is for a badge of honor. When was the latest software update released for your Android phone? What was the date? October 1st. Version 16. Guess what it was for? Security. All 3 Android users better have that update down. Okay, Apple users. What was the iOS most recent version of your software update? Anything now?
18 points. I was 26.
26. You got it right. So me, Candace downstairs, should we give you candy? I'm still in your batch of candy, guys. Okay, so yes, it was 26. Do you know what it was for?
I don't know.
It specifically says in their security enhancement. There's other things, right? All the fluff is before it, but right after it says it's for security enhancement. What are all software updates require? Storage space on our phones, right? For our devices. Who has that extra storage space? I certainly don't. On my bad, like I'm a mom of 5, so I max it out on my videos and my pictures, right? We forget to download them to a thumb drive or to a computer. Super, super important to do these software updates. You can go to the next slide, Candace. To do the software updates, delete what's not necessary. Delete your messages. Go in there, delete your photos that you have duplicates of. After this session, we're going to be doing hands-on where we can help you look at your devices and make those more secure so that you can get those critical software updates. And if you haven't updated, we're going to point that out to you too so that you can get updated, okay? So next slide. So what also to be looking for your software updates? Turn on those notifications. Sorry, I have to click around. I'm over here worried about Candace. Apologize, Candace. So software updates, look for those notifications. As soon as you get it, look for what it's trying to do the software update for. Why are there software updates? Show of hand. Why are software updates also important? Bugs. They're fixing bugs. These are known vulnerabilities that have happened that need to be fixed. So software updates are super important. There are some software updates that are just fluff. Okay, it's to make your camera better. It's to do refresh your phone. But a lot of times there's going to be hidden agendas in there, and it will say for security. So it's really important to be aware and looking at that. So I'm going to hand this off to Richard. All right, next we're going to have Richard talking about strong passwords.
Okay, so I'm Richard Black. Like I said, I'm another student here. And we're going to talk about using a strong password. Well, what is a strong password? It's at least 16 characters long. It should be a mixture of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, special characters, even spaces. And better yet, a passphrase of unrelated words makes it even harder for someone to crack your phone. Each account that you have should have its own unique password, and don't reuse your passwords. One of the things that you can do to make it a little bit easier for you is to use a password manager. Now, the benefits of that, it stores your password, it remembers which site that password's for. It won't allow you to duplicate passwords. It automatically generates strong passwords. It fills in your login credentials for you on the different websites. And it won't fall for a phishing website, even if you would. So it really helps protect you. And it stores the passwords in an encrypted form. So even if they get to your phone and they extract the file that's got that in it, it's encrypted. So you're really protected. Another thing that you can do to make your phone or your mobile device or even your laptop or computer more secure is to use multi-factor authentication. So what is that? It's an extra layer that helps protect you from being hacked, and it's specifically set up so using the email accounts, working with your financial institutions or your social media. And there are several MFAs out there. You can just go Google, but the two top ones is Microsoft Authenticator and Google Authenticator. So, like I said, there's multiple different methods that you can use for multiple factor authentication, but which one's the most secure? Well, the most secure is the one that uses a security key, like a U key. Where I used to work, we used RSA and we had physical tokens, and about every 30 seconds to 60 seconds, it would generate a new key that you would type in to verify that you're it. But a little bit later on, it came up with the same thing as software, which was easier to use because you could cut and paste. And it was better for the company because those physical keys cost about $50 a piece. And if you had a contract with someone at the company and they took it with them, then you're out that money. With the software, they can immediately disable it and then reuse it for someone else. It gives another way of doing it is, like I said, with those authenticator packages like Microsoft Authenticator, and it will prompt you and give you a number that you got to type in. They give you a one-time code, and if particular one that says it's generated every 30 seconds, or you can use biometrics, either your fingerprint or your face to confirm your identity. Of all the methods there, the least secure is either a text or an email code that's sent to you. And I'm going to hand it over to Anand, talk about phishing.
Howdy guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Anand. I don't know if you caught me during the intro. And so I'm here to talk to y'all about phishing. And so I'm sure y'all heard of phishing before many times. Maybe you'll have to do assignments on it. Maybe I'll do something else with it. And the reason we're still talking about phishing is it's still the #1 initial access method for hackers today, and that's in 2025. So there have been some recent developments in phishing that made it a lot more difficult to tell whether it's not a phishing email. Because right now here on this slide, it says misspelled words, bad grammar, odd URLs. There are tactics nowadays that do prevent such things from being a common kind of telltale sign that this is a phishing email. One of them being AI. So if you have someone from Russia sending you an email, a lot of times you can tell the grammar is terrible and they don't know how to capitalize words and they use spaces correctly. But since they do, I guess, the invention of AI, now they can do it. So it sounds like an English-speaking person is sending you this email, making it harder for you to tell it's actually a phishing email. So they also have URLs as well. So what they do is they shorten the URLs. And so instead of looking like this weird, long, fishy email link that they have underneath whenever they send you somewhere, it's shortened to just kind of a simple domain name where it looks a lot more, let's say, harmless. And so those are the techniques nowadays that attackers use to obfuscate and basically get people to click on these links. And so going over the signs of phishing emails nowadays, now that I talked about, kind of the methods that attackers use nowadays to circumvent such things, is if they request for personal information, if they ask and they phrase it in a way that makes it a very urgent email. Let's say you have $5,000 waiting for you. The bank mobile refund thing. That's something all of y'all got, I'm sure, from being on the Alma College's domain. And if the sender email address is a little bit wonky, let's say in this example on the slide, it says the O in Amazon is a 0, right? Simple typo squatting is what they'll do. And typo squatting is essentially where they make a domain name very similar to the official domain name, and then just add in something small that if you fat fingered, typing in the domain name, it would bring you to that. And I've gone over pretty much everything that you'd have to look for to tell if it's phishing besides, urgency. There's going to be a lot less grammar issues. The URL, definitely don't click on anything. Please don't. If you think it's phishing, just delete it. That'd be kind of what my news bills would be, but that's going to be on the next slide. And so, do and don't. A lot of it is business email compromise, or BEC. So that's essentially where they act like a well-known business, like for example, on the last slide, Amazon, and they essentially try to get you to click because it's from said trusted vendor or user or whatever it might be. And so if you do suspect it is business email compromise, right? And let's say it's from your boss and you're at work. Ideally, what you'd want to do is, before you do anything, is use another line of communication. Ideally, if it's through email, because phishing is email, you'd want to verify through phone number, you call them, you do other types of communication lines to verify whether this message is correct, especially if they're asking for sensitive financial information, like financial statements, or they're asking for tax statements, or anything like that. You want to verify through another line of communication. It's very important. You want to actually reach out to your IT team if this is a business setting. If it's personal setting, there are other resources you could use. 123, which is Internet Complaint Center run by the FBI. That's something that you could reach out to if it's a personal email. But for business email, and that's kind of largely what we're focusing on, you'd reach out to your IT team and delete the email. They can go back into the email server and check the logs to see what actually happened, but it's, it's their problem now, right? And then we generally, if you're in a business setting, the email filters will be input by your IT team on-prem, and you won't really have to worry about email filters. But if it's on the personal side, yes, please use email filters. And a lot of the enterprise solutions or just normal solutions like Microsoft 365 and Google will have email filters in place that you can just, they're already pre-configured.
Let's make sure everybody's awake. So question for our students, how do you report an email that you receive through your student email account? What do you do if you get a phishing email?
There should be a button, I want to say top right. I don't know if it's report or report email. You just click that and it'll send it to you.
It's those three dots on your email. He's absolutely right. You click the three dots, it says report, and then you can turn it into our IT team. See if they're in the back, and they will get notified and look into it, because if it's going to you, it's going to Anand, it's going to Richard, it's going to me. So when you report it, that's making sure that your other students and classmates and your professors don't fall for that type of attack.
Absolutely. Glad to do that. Now, I expect everybody else will probably know that, or if they didn't already know that. And so don'ts, right? Obviously, please don't click on any attachments. Don't download them. It's definitely not something you want to do unless you are purposely trying to infect the computer with malware. And it's something it's on a sandbox and not in your business environment. That will probably get you at least one talking to with your other supervisor. Don't send any personal information, common standard, and then obviously do not click on any links. Now there are some links that we just hover over them and it will act as some type of executable icon for the malware script. So I would advise against doing that. If you think it's phishing, which you could do, like for example, Microsoft 365, you see the email here in the kind of sidebar. What you do is just hover over it and then you'll hit on the three dots and look for the information through there instead of clicking on the email and then hovering over the direct link in the email, just in case Microsoft fails to filter it out. But on the next slide, we'll talk about the bonus activity that we got. So the bonus activity that I'll be talking about is app permissions. So I'm sure all of y'all have mobile devices. All of y'all for sure have phones, probably laptops as well. And so my main point in going over this here is auditing what permissions your apps have on your phones. So say, for example, you play Pokemon Go, right? Pokemon Go is going to have access to your location whenever you're playing it, right? That makes sense. That's generally, that checks out logically. But should Clash Royale have access to your location at all times? Should they know that you went to McDonald's at 7 p.m. yesterday?
No.
They should have access to my camera too, come on.
Yeah, they should have access to your camera. They shouldn't be able to have access to your contacts. Hey, why is he going to McDonald's at 7 p.m.?
I would say Clash Royale.
They should not have access to that, right? And so essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make you aware of what permissions your apps actually have. And so generally when you install an app, it'll give you that kind of long user agreement. And most of the time, let's be honest, y'all don't read it. I don't read it. I'm not going to lie. And we just skip through, especially if it's a game, skip through, go play the game. But generally, sometimes they won't, they'll ask for permissions. So they'll ask for context, they'll ask for changing data on your storage, they'll ask for location, they'll ask for a bunch of different permissions. And you can either deny or allow. And it's definitely important to go back in and audit those to see whether or not those have access to sensitive information, like I mentioned, your location. And for Android, at least, I'm not exactly sure for iOS. That's not really my forte. That's Veronica's forte. there is an option to allow access only when using the app, allow access all the time, or deny access. And so obviously you don't want to have allow access all the time. There's generally not an application besides like the default phone and text messaging app that needs access to your contacts 24/7. And then especially location, there's probably not many apps that need access to your location 24/7. So that is kind of the main theme here. And so obviously we have all the permissions listed out, especially the more sensitive ones, access to your pictures. And we will now begin the activity portion of this presentation. And essentially what Veronica mentioned earlier, we got the comments. Okay, we have a question for some Q&A before that, but right after we'll have an activity where if you so choose to, we will look at your phone also won't touch on your phone. And you're gonna touch your phone. We're not gonna touch that. We'll advise you on what to do with your phone if you so choose to do so. Q&A question time.
Ask us hard questions.
Please don't make this weird while I'm standing up here. Ask them.
Maybe.
It maybe. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that last slide where you're talking about the different apps. One thing that people don't think about too is third-party keyboards. Sometimes they can, track your keystroke and stuff like on there. So I don't know if that's a thing on Apple. Is that a thing on Apple?
The thing on Apple is that, I don't know if there's notice or not, but when it asks to track you, all the apps that I have downloaded, it will not track the offer. So don't get nervous and thinking that you set up track you for sure. You don't have to. And I think we had a question in the back as well. Yeah. Oh,
All right.
I have a question. So who has Fetch downloaded on the phone? Raise your hand.
Have what?
Fetch. Does anybody use Fetch?
Oh, I didn't.
Use it? Okay. It's only for us older people who want to save money, right? So your parents, go home and ask your mom, ask your dad, ask your grandma if they have Fetch downloaded on their phone. So it's an app, not promoting Fetch. I'm just letting you know what it does. Has a picture of a little dog. Any receipt you get, you take a picture and it gives you points. And after these points, you're able to get gift cards, guys. So anybody need money, you get the gift cards off these points, right? That's the premise of Fetch. Well, Fetch has to make their money too, right? So how does Fetch make their money? So if you're not watching what Fetch does, it actually will download videos to your device behind the scenes. So while we're looking at our app safety, we want to make sure are there any downloads that you haven't given permission to? And I'm sure it doesn't just happen with Fetch. So also be checking for your apps awareness, look at your download and make sure you don't have that because that's also taking up storage, which is why we can't do our software update.
Right. Yes. We got one more question in the back.
So I did that with Sukhlall, and it started adding photos of different hotels around the world to my gallery.
I did not have that. Yeah. We'll move on to the activity portion.
Yep.
There's no more questions? All right.
You have an iPhone? See Veronica?